Hello and welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new here, my name's Lauren, and in today's video I'm going to share with you guys the 5 DIYs I did to make my wardrobe feel more personal to me, and they're super easy so you guys could definitely try them at home. So with all that being said, let's jump right in. So starting off with the thing that I'm wearing, and that is this necklace. I'm going to take it off so I can give you guys a closer look. This pendant had a different chain on it back when I bought it in January of 2024, and I wore it to death. I love that necklace so much, but unfortunately the chain broke a couple of months after. And I still loved the pendant, so I decided to create a new chain. Normally I would just buy a chain, but this time I figured I had a lot of beads hanging around from making bracelets for the Eras tour, so I thought it would be fun to create a necklace chain. And so I ended up using these faux pearls because I think it ended up making the chain a little more interesting than your standard chain and adding a little bit more dimension to the overall necklace. So when I'm wearing it, there's two textures happening instead of one. We have the gold and the faux pearl. I really love how it turned out. I've been wearing it a ton, and it was a super easy DIY that I did in under 30 minutes. Next is an item that I actually made from scratch, and this is probably my favorite out of all of these DIYs, and it was this little tote bag. I made this little drawstring tote bag from fabric scraps that I had from previous projects. In fact, the base fabric, this sort of Art Deco floral, is from my freshman year of college sewing project. So it's over 10 years old, just this fabric, and I'm so glad I was able to use it for a new project. And I've been wearing it so much because I just love the colors, and it really just adds a little pop of print to any one of my outfits. So I will say I am not a beginner sewer, so my tote bag has the drawstring element as well as a lining. But if you are a beginner at sewing, a drawstring is a great way to begin. In fact, when I first started learning to sew, the first thing I made was a tote bag. And that's because it's just a lot of square fabrics. This is a long square. This is a big square. You just have to make sure you get your measurements right and it'll go smoothly. And you don't need a lining like I have if you're gonna make a tote bag. I just did that for the drawstring component. So if you wanted to make a tote bag without the lining, it would only be 4 pieces of fabric that you would need. The front and the back piece, and then the 2 strap pieces that you just fold together and sew and then turn inside out. I would highly recommend trying to sew a tote together if you are looking to add a little more personality to your wardrobe, because you are getting to pick the print or color or fabric. You are getting to pick the strap length and all the details that go into this bag, and that's not something we often get to do when we buy something from a store. So it really makes it personal, and you'll really feel a lot of pride when you're wearing it out and about. Continuing on with accessories, I wanted to add a little bit of a playful element to my clothes, and I saw Alberta Rose over on Instagram add, I think it was like a pin or something to one of her baseball caps, and I was like, genius. But I don't have any pins, so I did what I thought was the next best thing, and I'm really happy with how it came out, and that is beading a little motif onto the baseball cap. So what I did is I beaded a little fish. It's not perfect, but I feel like it gets the point across, and I think it looks really good. I think the colors are really pretty together, and I think it adds just a little bit of texture and shine to any outfit. I've had the hat for a really long time, and so I thought it would be cute with a little blue-green element on the pinky red, and I'm super happy with how it looks, and I'm so excited. I've been wearing mostly beanies because it's winter, but as soon as it gets like a little bit above 50 or 60 degrees, I will be wearing this nonstop. Next, we have what I would consider my first ever thrift flip. I thrifted these jeans, and I wasn't wearing them as much as I thought I would, but I really loved the fit of the top, the rise, the waist, the bagginess. It was just the leg shape that I wasn't in love with. So I did a little thrift flip, and I increased the leg opening by adding panels in the leg. So here's what they look like. This is what the top of the pants look like. This is the panel that I added on both sides. It's not perfect. We are not looking for perfection here, but as you can see, the leg was very tapered like this, and I increased it to be like this. And I will add photos of the before and after here so you guys can see truly side by side what the leg shape difference was. And I really love how it came out. For the panels, I used denim that I had left over from cutting a pair of thrifted jeans into shorts. So I had a really big panel of fabric to work with, and I really like the colors together. I also had some cream denim that I was considering using, but I did a little poll on my Instagram and the majority liked this, and I'm very happy with this. So if you ever want to be involved in my DIY selection, definitely follow me over on Instagram, because that's where I mull over all my ideas. If I'm not sure about something, I just ask the people, you know? This was a really fun DIY because I think it came out really nice, but sewing-wise, it was very much more difficult than I thought it was going to be, and that was purely because I decided to do this with a denim pant. Denim is very thick, and it's can be a challenge to sew through when you're not constrained to getting it in the pant leg itself. So the pants were already pretty narrow, and then on top of that, they're denim. So it was tough to jam all the fabric into my sewing machine. I did struggle, but otherwise it was a pretty easy DIY in terms of create the strip and then put it into the jeans. I seam ripped the pant leg, and then I spread the fabric to my desired leg opening width. Then I pinned in the new denim fabric, and then I put the pants on to decide whether I liked the width and the shape. Then I sewed the panels in, and then I ironed it because there was the leg shape was kind of bumping out at the point, but I ended up ironing it and it was fine. And that's it. It's not a lot of steps, but it's just more difficult because I did denim tapered jeans. So those are just some things to keep in mind if you're gonna try and do this on your own. And if you try to do any of these on your own, please tag me so I can look at them, because I love seeing everyone's creative projects. That's one of my favorite things to look at on Instagram. So if you decide to do any of these projects, please tag me. And for the final DIY, I guess it's also considered a thrift flip, because I did thrift these and then make modifications. So it's these pants, and I thrifted these in 2023 actually, and I've never worn them. And so I was like, I need to do something. So I decided to dye them. They were a very light, sagey, minty green, and I just was not reaching for them. And so I decided to dye them this more electric sort of green that fits more into my style. So I decided to dye these using RIT dye, because I was pretty sure that these were 100% cotton, and I wanted to make sure I got the most vibrant color that I could. What I found interesting was on the RIT website, not only did they have the colors that they offer, they also show you what combinations of their dyes you can put together to make other colors. So for this, I used 2 containers of teal and 1 container of golden yellow, or something like that. This is the color lime if you're considering making this on your own. I was flabbergasted at how good this came out. I was very prepared for this to be very different from what the website looked like, just because you never know. You're seeing the color on a screen and you're just not sure if it's gonna translate to the actual garment. And the fact that this garment has no fabric content tags. I have no idea what this is made out of, but I was pretty sure it was cotton, and honestly, it has to be, because this is so vibrant. This process was really smooth. I used the dye. I let it sit for 60 minutes, which I think is like the max they want you to let it set for. And then I ended up using the dye fixative, which is something you put on after just to make sure the dye really sticks in and doesn't get all over everything. I don't know if I would sit on a white couch in these, but I haven't had any problems yet, and I've worn these since dyeing them. So far so good, but you know, you never know. And with certain different colors, you're gonna get different results. And also, since dyeing these, I have been looking into natural dyes as well. I bought 100 tea bags so that I can tea dye a different piece of clothing in my wardrobe. So if you guys want to see that process, definitely give this a like, and I will record it, and you can see me either succeed or fail on that. I don't know how it's gonna go. I really love the idea of dyeing your clothes to give them new life, whether that's with RIT dye or with natural dyes. I think it's just such a fun way to give something new life. I ended up dyeing a pair of royal blue Converse black a couple of years ago because I just wasn't wearing them. And I knew it was a silhouette of shoe that I loved, but the blue was just really hard for me to style at that time. So I was like, all right, I wear black all the time. I'll dye them black. and it has doubled their lifespan. I have had those Converse since I was in high school, which, if you don't know, that was a long time ago. So the fact that I'm able to keep wearing them and incorporating them in my outfits today, just because I was able to change the color of them, is so exciting to me and really speaks to giving your clothes new life and sustainability and what that looks like for me. So I think if I had to rank all 5 DIYs from easiest to hardest, it would go necklace, dyeing the pants, beading the hat, tote bag, and denim jeans. Just based on skill level and how long it takes, and if you can like pick it up and just do it. That's my ranking. Let me know again if you guys decide to do any of these. I'd love to see. Okay, that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up so I know to make more videos like this. And if you don't want to miss anything from me, make sure to subscribe. I put out new videos on Sundays, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!